Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting conversations on the sidelines of Land-Linked 2026. And we're still at the Stanbic Bank, stand at this conference, and I'm about to have a conversation with Lester, who's a good friend of Financial Insights, who's going to basically tell me a little bit about why he's at Land-Linked, what his role, his role resonates with the event, and the panel discussion he's going to be on. So, Lester, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Marwa. Nice to have you.
Absolutely, it's always a pleasure to host you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think just very quickly, let me just give you a little bit about what I do for the bank.
Yeah.
I'm head of commercial asset finance. And as a bank, it's a solution that solves for capital assets for clients and to a lesser extent, working capital. So the Land-Linked conference, what underscores is the 3 million metric tons of copper that we are supposed to move by 2031. Now, in moving that, what infrastructure do we need, and how does the bank come in to support that goal of getting that 3 million metric tons? We need to understand also where the opportunities lie. There, there are issues around bankability of projects. We're also trying to demystify some of those issues. And there's an inclusion this year, and there's a strong push towards rail. And there's a thought process that, commercial asset finance, or rather vehicle and asset finance, only speaks to vehicles, motor vehicles, and assets that run on trucks, on roads. But I think, want to be clear that we can also finance rail equipment and rail infrastructure.
Right.
And we want to provide, we want to engage stakeholders and say we can do it. And we want to make sure that those projects are bankable.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, this is obviously very, very exciting. And to your point about, focus on rail, we've also noted that, Standard Bank has obviously been positioning itself to assist, the various players in the transportation as well as mining ecosystem. You are going to be on a panel later today. Are you able to just tell us about some of the key focus points that you'll be sharing?
I think the key focus points would be bankability. What makes our participation bankable? How can we realize that 300 metric tons? We know Zambia Railways is from an infrastructure and a capacity point, is really punching below its weight. Would like partners, would like to grow. They're looking for capital. And we're just there to say, yes, can we get a bankable deal? We are available, we're open for partnerships in financing, and we can provide the debt required for that. But we also want to say, this is what we want to see, and this is how we can meet each other in terms of what processes do you follow, what documentation, what commercial agreements do you put, what level of infrastructure can we put in place, and or are we able to finance? But we also want to understand the project, the milestones that go with that, and then I think we can be able to deliver. As you know, this is our home, and we need to drive growth. And we need to look at it with a lens of being African. So if we're saying, the world has a risk rating of Zambia, and this is the risk rating, we want to say, look, this is our home. We understand what your risk points are, but can we look at it differently and solution specifically for our own requirements? So we are a local bank, and we need a solution for Zambia.
Absolutely. Mr. Anderson, thank you so much for sharing your insights.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
So there you have it. We've been speaking to Mr. Anderson from Standard Bank Zambia. So stay tuned for more insights at Land-Linked, 2026.